I'm doing something a bit different today. I'm here on location at S4200 in Albuquerque. Even though this is not a sponsored video, I wish. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a gay bar and grill. It used to be up on Wyoming as just a bar, and now it's a bar and grill, so it's open to the public. And I am here as a proud bisexual man to ask myself the question, does the LGBT plus community still need a safe space? Yes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, but seriously, do we still need them? And if so, why? Due to COVID and our government being unable to safely reopen bars, the LGBT plus community of Albuquerque recently lost an institution just a few blocks from here, the Albuquerque Social Club. They shut down in March of 2020, and now due to COVID restrictions, they will not be reopening. We are officially down to one gay bar, which, as I said, is only able to be open right now because they are a bar and grill and have this patio. So I made it clear as to where I stand. But why? And this is not only about why we need to support Sidewinders S4200, which we do, but why we need to be supportive of each other as a community. Because we are a community. We are a family. We are an incredibly dysfunctional family, but we are family nonetheless. Now, I am not a young gay, no matter how much I pretend to be in my 20s, but I don't consider myself an old gay, no matter how much I joke about being in my 70s. Being younger than some and older than others, and especially being someone who came out to myself and my community and joined the LGBT plus community at a time in my life when some might have turned bitter and become over it. I have, I believe, a unique perspective. I have enjoyed the hell out of living in this community for the past 10 years. It's been wild. I have attended Pride celebrations across the country, including World Pride in New York in 2019. I've been to marches, protests. I celebrated when we won marriage equality. And I wept when we lost 49 brothers and sisters at the Pulse shooting in Orlando, Florida. I've interacted with friends who fought for AIDS recognition in the 1980s. I've seen trans people, young and old, find the courage to live their true selves. As a polyamorous guy, I've had multiple boyfriends, up to 3 at once. I've loved and not hated, but I've disliked all of them. I have been an unabashed slut. I've been on PrEP since it became available to me. I've also seen our community become more and more widely accepted here in the US, be that via representation in comics, video games, TV shows, and movies, despite the actions of Comicsgate, Gamersgate, and TERFs like J.K. Rowling. But what I've also seen, and I've seen this not only in the LGBT plus community, but run rampant in social media in general, is this echo chamber in which people like to wrap themselves. If someone even slightly disagrees with you, or God's forbid you happen to point out an inaccuracy in something that they say, even if, or possibly especially, if they are in fact mistaken, then you are not only their enemy, but you must be cut out of their life in every aspect and blocked on all social media. And no jokes, that's happened to me more times than I can count. I am, after all, Brendan Scott Jensen, obstreperous as fuck. But here's my point, and I promise I do have one. That echo chamber that everyone lives in, the one that you put yourself in by convincing yourself that you're cutting out the negativity, it's convinced people, far too many people, that you are in fact safe. By only being around people who support your every action and who back up your every word, no matter how wrong-headed or just plain wrong you happen to be. You've made your own space that is not necessarily safe, even though you have the illusion that it is. Now, this is not a young person thing. I've seen this in every generation that has access to social media. You might think you don't need your gay bars or your gay safe spaces because we're just like everyone else, but we're not. We can get married. I mean, yes, yay. And even bigger yay for just this year, having won the right to not be fired from our jobs anywhere in the US based solely on the fact that we are LGBT+. Yes, just this year. 2020 did give us that. But hate crimes are still a very real threat. There are very significant rights that we do not have, and that's just where the law is concerned. You may choose to forgive your 73-year-old Aunt Gertrude for calling you a faggot, or your Nana for saying, hate the sin, love the sinner, but you're fooling yourself, and only yourself, if you believe that we are equal. It's unlikely that you'd brush off that kind of behavior if it were about racism or because this was actually once a thing, being left-handed. But some of us like to believe that #love won, so it's all over. Everyone is equal. We don't need special treatment. We're all the same. Or maybe you think that having safe spaces designated as specifically gay defeats the purpose of equality. That we are, in fact, looking for special treatment. Anyone who's had the words "die fag" carved into their car, anyone who's ever felt the absolute need to release their partner's hand in public and appear to be bros, and that's just those of us who have the ability to pass as hetero, or even just someone who's felt their heart sink because you're walking alone in a dark alley and you swear you heard someone say the word faggot. The list goes on, and it gets so much worse. Anyone who's had to face persecution head on, just for being part of this family. We can tell you that while it gets better, it's not over. Not the fight for equality, not the fight for AIDS treatment, and not the need, not only for each other, but to have a space where we know that we can be free to be who we are. Yeah, sure, a drag show can happen anywhere. You can get a drink at any bar when they're legal again. But when a group of drunk straight girls bursts into the bathroom stall that you're in and you've asked them to let you pee in peace and they're used to having their way, so they continue to harass you, it feels damn good to know that as a gay safe space, they will be made to leave. And while that's just one of my small stories of how the owners of Sidewinders have made me feel safe, when I highly doubt I would have gotten that same reaction at another bar being, a guy. I hope that we can all reflect on why a safe space to express ourselves is so damned important. Whether you want to comment, message me on social media, I would love to hear your stories. You don't have to ramble on forever like me, but if you want to share a video, maybe this can be like a project, or not. Maybe you just want to rant on your own YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Then I'd love to see it. Maybe I'm just rambling because I'm sad that we lost the SOCH. Most importantly, though, we have got to support our only current gay bar, Sidewinders S4200. And if you're seeing this in another state, support your locally owned gay bar and restaurant. We are hanging by a thread, people. We have to stick together, or decades of progress can and will be undone. You don't need to be in the scene or have a favorite RuPaul drag queen to support your family. I've literally never seen an episode of RuPaul. Safe spaces for our community are more than a place to grab a drink or dance or cruise for a late night romp in the sheets, or above all, a place to check out once every few months, or just during Pride. They are an absolute necessity for survival.